Hey from sister to sister family. Want to learn how to make this delicious turkey meatloaf stuffed with mozzarella cheese and spinach, aka Spinzarella meatloaf? Well, stick around. This is one you don't want to miss.
I cannot keep it to myself. God been too good to me. This is no secret. I cannot keep it to myself. God been too good to me.
Hey friends, so let's jump right into what you're gonna need. First, let's start with the base. For your meatloaf, you're gonna need ground turkey. I try to switch things up to make it healthier. So you're gonna need ground turkey, do 85% lean. If you go any higher, your turkey meatloaf is gonna taste more like chicken meatloaf, if you know what I'm saying. Trust me, 85% lean is where it's at. To season your meat, you're going to need kosher salt, oregano, garlic salt, black pepper. I use parsley as more of a garnish for later. Worcestershire sauce, yay, tongue twister over there. For your stuffing, of course, you're going to need spinach and mozzarella. And then to bring everything together, I do use 2 eggs per package of meat and then an oil of your choice. In this clip, you're seeing grapeseed oil, but any oil will do. Oh, and onions. For the glaze, raw sugar, sriracha, ketchup, barbecue sauce, black pepper, and cayenne. Apologies, I forgot to mention, you will also need a milk of your choice. I love almond milk. I particularly always have the vanilla on hand. Sometimes the sweetened version too, it's fine. Use what you have in your fridge. But yeah, almond milk, oat milk, regular milk, you'll be fine. Surprise, surprise, you're also going to need this secret ingredient. Yes, a croissant. This is one of the tips I learned from another fellow YouTuber, how to deflect or counteract the stigma of dry meatloaf. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Using a bread of your choice. I'm using croissants in this case, but a loaf will do just fine. Will actually give you that juicy meatloaf that we all prefer. I'm not gonna hold you. Breadcrumbs do hold a lot of flavor. So something that I wanna try next time is just to marry the two. So using a oil of your choice, I'm using grapeseed oil. Go ahead and saute your onions. I have quite a bit on here because I'm making a larger loaf for my family and a smaller one for just me and my sis to enjoy for the short term. When it comes to American dishes, I try not to do a lot, just salt and pepper to taste. As you can see, these are our onions that have now sauteed, become translucent. Just a nice brown color is what you want. So here I've taken the croissants, broken them up, and splashed it with just enough almond milk. I didn't measure it. You definitely don't want to use too much milk. But yeah, I'm letting that rest and absorb. So now I dumped all the ingredients that I mentioned before into the soaking croissant and milk, Parmesan cheese, the seasonings. I believe I only used 1 egg here. Tip, the more hot dog-like you want your meatloaf, use more milk and egg. The more meaty you want it, use less wet ingredients. Make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, every dish has a star ingredient. For this meatloaf, Worcestershire sauce is gonna be that star. And so just begin to drop it like it's hot into your mixture. It's gonna bring out a lovely smokiness to your meatloaf. Also, if your Worcestershire sauce does not come wrapped in paper like this, you don't want it. It's not the real deal, okay? Go ahead and slide those perfectly sauteed onions in there, why don't you? Another tip, you're gonna wanna mix your mixture, no pun intended, before adding in your meat. So just like that, you are now ready to start mixing your ground turkey. Like most, I hate touching raw meat, but you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I think I'm just giving myself a second to muster up strength. So as you can see, I survived after mixing up the meat. I spared you guys that footage, but let it rest now, the mixture. Go ahead and use this time to start slicing up your mozzarella cheese that's going to make your filling with the spinach. So at first I was like, no, no, oh my God, I don't want them to see my pants, how ugly they look. But listen, this is the reality. When you cook and it's been a few years, your pans just might look crazy like mine. From sister to sister, you're okay. As long as they're clean, that's what matters. I usually put foil underneath my meat, but because you want the fat to drain, that's why I'm setting it up like this. One tip that I did learn, some people do the roll method with their mozzarella and spinach, but I like to just create a pocket. Create a pocket which you can put the mozzarella and cheese into and then cover it up. Hope that makes sense. See, to your liking, just add your mozzarella and spinach just like so into the pocket. I would say if you don't want your meatloaf to be oozing tons of cheese, just be light-handed with the mozzarella because it does spread. And then you take the rest of your meat mixture and pack it on top while you're continuing to shape and form your meatloaf. As I mentioned, am making two tonight, one big portion for my family and one for me and my sis. Let us switch gears now to make our glaze. So dump that ketchup, barbecue sauce, a little sriracha, sugar, and cayenne. I was feeling a bit inspired and added Asian teriyaki. Not mandatory, but yes. Give it a good stir. Taste it. Make sure it has enough sweetness and pow pow to your liking. Then you're going to want to live your best life and glaze your meatloaf. I had already set my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to want to let this cook for an hour. I thought you guys might enjoy the dramatic twilight music in the background before we put this in the oven. So it's been an hour. Meatloaf is done and rested, ready to dig in. I'll let you in on a secret. This big portion that was supposed to be for our folks, we totally devoured that. And this small piece that was supposed to be for me and my sister, it was just that finger licking good. You see, meatloaf can be juicy and not dry. Just to give you an idea of how I paired this with some leftovers the next day, we have the meatloaf tasting even better the next day over some asparagus risotto cauliflower rice. I found it at my local Stop and Shop. It was pretty tasty. I sprinkled some leftover Parmesan cheese. I'm very big on the easiest and healthiest ways to get my protein and veggies in, especially because I try to stick to either no carb dinners or veggie/protein shakes as meal replacements. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Also, comment below if you're a fan of meatloaf, and if not, would you try this recipe? All right, toodles.